For those of you who are black and are tempted to be filled with hatred and mistrust of the injustice of such an act against all white people, I would only say that I can also feel in my own heart the same kind of feeling. I had a member of my family killed, but he was also killed by a white man. Those words were spoken by Robert Kennedy following the death of Martin Luther King on April 4th, 1968. First, I will discuss the circumstances that led to this speech, and second, the impact that this speech had on the world. According to HistoryLearningsite.com, America was in a state of civil unrest. Blacks were fighting against whites. The Vietnam War had just peaked with intensity during the John F. Kennedy administration. Civil rights issues were exploding all over the country in every type of possible scenario. According to Time magazine, Kennedy felt that he had to tell the people of Indianapolis the tragic news in order to prevent them from rioting. He felt that it was necessary to go up to the mic and tell the people not to react how they wanted to. I quote from Robert Kennedy's speech, "What we need in the United States is not violence or lawlessness, but love and wisdom and compassion towards one another and a feeling of justice towards those who are still suffering within our country, whether they be white or whether they be black." We have just discussed first the circumstances that led to Robert Kennedy's speech. Second, we will discuss the impact the speech had. According to NPR.com, the impact that the speech had on those watching was a very proactive one. The city of Indianapolis, unlike every other city in America that evening, did not riot. The listeners of the speech understood and fully received Robert Kennedy's message. Kennedy was able to plant the seed that night, plant the seed in the hearts and minds of those listening, that even though they had lost Martin Luther King, they had not lost his message. The impact that the speech had on the world is still a significant one. According to the AmericanHistory.com, the speech is still on the top 20 of the greatest speeches. Today we have investigated first the circumstances that led to this great speech in history, and second, the impact that the speech had on the world. My fellow students, you should all take time to read this speech because it shows a man that stood before people and changed their hearts and changed their minds. Robert Kennedy reminded all of us watching that day that even though they were tempted to be filled with anger and hatred towards white people, not all white people behave and act like that.